Welcome back to Derry Public Radio. Reporting from the basement of the Derry Civic Center, this is CM Alexander with the news. The UMA is looking for volunteers for an upcoming research study. Participants must be at least 18 years of age or older, must be comfortable staying the night at an alternate location, and must possess certain traits such as tactile empathy, skin sight, contact vision, aura vision, and other related abilities. To see if you are eligible for the study, contact Professor Joyce Reardon at UMA, who herself possesses the ability of tenure know. You're listening to Derry Public Radio. This is Derry Public Radio. Welcome back to Derry Public Radio, a bi-weekly Stephen King Book Club podcast. I'm one of your hosts, CM Alexander, alongside Joshua Kahn.
Hey, everybody.
And Eve Gatto.
Hey there, constant readers.
And today we are back with a revisited pick. If you don't know what that is, get on our Patreon. It's a perk there.
Get on our level.
We are covering Rose Red. Recovering from Rose Red.
Accurate.
And Josh is going to be leading our discussion. I want to mention, though, real quick at the top, listeners, Revisited, if you're not familiar with it, we're not going to be going over the plot like we would normally do because we've already done that in episodes that we...
In 3 full-length episodes.
Yeah, so this is going to be one episode revisiting our ideas, and we have some fun stuff throughout the episode for you, too.
Yeah. I want to kick things off by asking you both, flat out, how is the experience of watching this straight through and doing an ep versus watch one, record one?
Less exhausting, for sure. And in one way, more enjoyable, but it's different, the ebbs and flows of like energy and action when you're watching something that's meant to be spaced out all at once.
Here's my thought is I did have fun because watching stuff with you guys is always super fun. But the thing about recording it the way we did the first time, this thing is, I think, 20 hours long and separated into 3 parts. And when we recorded these episodes the first time, we came in, we spent, much like we did today, we spent a whole day because we would watch the first part an hour and a half and then hit the studio and record an hour podcast and then watch part 2. It took us forever. And by the end, it was some of my favorite episodes we ever did because by the end of it, we were all punch drunk.
Yeah. It was like an 8-hour day.
It was a long one. And I think you can tell the energy in those episodes. By the last one, we're all a little silly.
Yes. It was early on, too, that we did that.
And this way, it is nice to just have the whole story presented to you all at once. But the problem is, the same problem I think we all had the first time, is the first 2/3 are boring. And without, like, when we watched and then recording is always so fun that I feel like we can get our energy up. And this time it was just like, I don't know about you two, but by the time we reached part 3, I was like flagging a little.
Oh, no. Yeah. The 3 of us got quieter in the living room.
We
had less like quippy things to say to each other.
We were just ready for this to be done.
But we didn't not enjoy it, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also because the last third is the most entertaining part of the whole thing. So at that point, I was just like, okay, let's just sit and watch.
Yeah, let's settle in for the climax of this whole thing.
Let's wait for Emery to die. The thing that we kept saying.
Yeah, I thought he died several times.
Same. I was waiting for it.
You were...
Yeah.
I like to listen to the last time we did these and pull out some fun facts. And one of the things that I pulled out was our predictions that we made at the end of episode 1 the first time as to survivors and who will die.
This is going to be extra interesting because I also just re-listened to those episodes when we were doing The Shining Revisited just a few months ago.
Oh, I'm at a disadvantage.
And see, that's the fun part is you're not. Oh. You know, we all know what my memory's like.
So I predicted that the survivors would be Annie and Nick, off by one. CM, you predicted that the automatic rider would die first. And Eve, I just wrote Professor Dean will die because we kept calling that character Professor Dean.
Oh, should we real quick just give a brief synopsis of the
whole
episode?
thing?
Just of the each episode, maybe?
Sure.
Sam, would you take us through just like...
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I was going to say, we can go through the Eve's memory version of it. It'll be much shorter and confusing.
Well, let me kick it off. And as I struggle, one of you can jump in. So we start things off in 1991. We see Annie's history for us to understand that she is an autistic child who also has powers like Carrie and perhaps beyond that. And she hates her neighbors, which, you know, I get sometimes, but...
Crushes them with stones.
Yes.
In a very fun scene of huge boulders just destroying this house.
This time around, it did feel like an overreaction.
I thought that. I was like, okay, their dog bit her and they're putting their dog down. What else do you want?
That's true.
Oh, to destroy your home.
Yeah. To make it rain hell.
Yeah. And so there's a family fight, which, Josh, you realized something about this time around.
The first time we watched this, you hear a fight between what I thought were her parents about how to take care of their daughter. Because that if you hear two adults yelling about the care of a child, that's what you'd assume. I was wrong, because this time I heard the dad say, "Sissy, something, something," revealing that is who the fight is. And I missed it. You pointed it out, Liam, that the mom actually does have a line in there. Yep. The mom in the whole entirety of the series has maybe 6 lines. She has as many lines as Annie does.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because she is not doesn't have selective mutism, but it's close.
Yes.
She can speak, and we hear her say
the line is like, she doesn't speak, but when she does, it's because she means it. She has
really
something to say.
Yeah. And so we're going to spend much of this episode getting to know just straight bitch Professor, is it Julia?
Joyce.
Joyce
Reardon.
The villain of the movie.
That I feel like the show for a very long time tries to make her sort of our main character in a way.
Yeah. And I think that I wanted to ask you both, did you remember first just how psycho she gets this time around?
Not even remotely.
Really?
Not even a bit. I just thought she was a really irresponsible scientist, professor, and human being.
No, because the thing that always sticks out, pretty much the most memorable part of this whole thing for me, is the scene where she smears blood all over her department lead's face.
Yeah.
And that colors her entire character.
She throws up so many red flags.
Yeah.
Just in front of everybody.
She is a child psychologist, and all she lectures on is ghosts. It's
and
insane.
Everybody's mad at her about it, yet that university has the equipment for measuring ghosts. It's like, I'm getting mixed signals here about what she should be doing. She's a professor, which I related to, but then she's just real horrible, guys.
What would have made all the difference, I think, I made a list of things we were right to make fun of as we were watching it. And one of them was, of course, the fact that the psychology department does have that equipment. Because I couldn't remember if we were just making a bit or that really, no, it's a real specific piece of dialogue. When the department head and her are fighting, he mentions that she filed for all that equipment, reserving it while he was on vacation, which is like a clever way to get around. Yeah. I just wish it had been like, you ordered this equipment while it was out. So it wasn't just
I feel like
the joke we have of why is this equipment here, just to slip that she put it in the budget without them knowing or something.
CM, as a child psychologist, how do you use your people proximity counters?
Yeah, good question.
A machine that tells you how many people or ghosts are in a room.
Oh my God.
Oh?
I actually do use that for my virtual class sessions. The platform I use where we all sign into our classes tells me how many people are in the room when they enter the room and when they leave the room.
I mean,
wow.
I guess
we have to
I'm
take
a
back
psychology
erase your list,
professor.
Josh. Everything that we were right to make fun of is wrong.
I removed that one.
Okay.
I removed that one piece of equipment.
You get this one, Rose Red.
We have to mention, though, she's obsessed with the lore of this mansion, Rose Red, that is basically the Shirley Jackson haunting. I say basically, that sounds snotty. It's taking inspiration from that, which is actually really fun.
Yeah.
Yes, and also what we talked about, the Winchester mansion.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, of course, a nonsense legend, but
crazy
also a cool
stories,
story.
Yeah, around that.
There is a line we make fun of pretty much every time we talk about this, and it's the line of houses are different. Because it is objectively hilarious in this speech, because in an early speech that we're probably going to hear more about later, she mentions that Shirley Jackson was right, that some houses are born bad. And I thought that was hilarious. So this time I decided to do some research on it. Okay. So this is a quote from The Haunting of Hill House. This house, which seemed somehow to have formed itself, flying together into its own powerful pattern under the hands of its builders, fitting itself into its own construction of lines and angles, reared its great head back against the sky without concession to humanity. It was a house without kindness, never meant to be lived in, not a place for people, or for love, or for hope. Exorcism cannot alter the countenance of a house. Hill House would stay as it was until it was destroyed.
I have that book. It's
I need to
awesome.
read more Shirley Jackson.
Yeah.
I've never read it. I loved the Netflix show. That's obviously not this. But that quote is Rose Red. That's gave all the Rose Red vibes. And it's still a funny line.
Oh
but
my gosh.
it's really cool now.
I was kind of commenting because I came to understand pretty quickly, because I think I went into it wanting to be more open on the Revisited, that this is fun and silly, like Creep Show, like Tales from the Crypt.
Yes.
And the only kind of weird thing about it is that, in my opinion, I felt like a lot of the things that were funny were not intended to be funny. So you've got that mixture of unintentional goofiness. And so that helped me get into this a little bit more this time. But I did still find myself wanting this to be R-rated.
1,000%.
Because we get, in this first episode, I forgot that it's, once they get in the house, it's basically, she assembles her team. It's basically like ghost encounter after ghost encounter after ghost encounter. And the stakes are just not really there, because they're like, oh, weird ghost thing. All right, let's keep going.
Everyone is so chill about all of the ghosts.
Yeah.
When their stated goal in being in the house is to get evidence of paranormal
They get
activity.
it like instantly, and then they should leave.
Immediately, they can pull out a camera and be like, okay, we're done, and leave.
Yeah.
And they don't.
A room screams at them until Annie tells it to stop.
Yeah, it's
Case closed.
I completely agree with this.
Oh, sorry, I was going to
been...
say Hill House, the TV show. It was the R-rated version of this movie.
Yeah.
Well, see, I want this to be more like Tales from the Crypt. We talked about this
Lean
during
more into the
the
campy
campiness.
darkness.
Yeah.
Because some of the practical effects, and there's a lot of practical effects, fucking
Great.
love it.
They're so
Love
great.
it.
Yeah.
But some of the like zombie ghost skeletal gross puppets
I think
are
you mean sexy.
yes, all of the sexy ghosts are very Crypt Keeper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wish they could have leaned into it. And like, Emery's a character from a Tales from the Crypt.
Very
Yes.
much so.
Because Tales from the Crypt was all about being fucking off-putting. It is an off-putting
it makes you
ass.
uncomfortable to
Yeah,
watch.
and he is a character who is a misogynist and a creep and a weirdo, but he's the best character in the whole thing.
Seriously.
Because he's like reacts to so many things completely reasonably.
Yep.
I don't know. I wish it could have leaned into more of the Tales from the Crypt. Like, all of these people kind of suck. I mean, that's not what this is, but it could have been. And it would have been more fun.
Watching them get their comeuppance.
Mm-hmm.
It made me like Emery more this watch after CM pointed out that his phone bill had an interesting charge on it.
City girls. I love that. Like, I'm a sucker.
Small detail.
I would call city girls. I'm not to talk sexy, but to just be like, I just want to have called city girls. Anyway,
How many phone sex lines have you called,
He's got to
CM?
feed the need. I've never called any. I'm such a poser. But this leads into a phone call because the professor, at this point we're jumping way around, is trying to gather everybody, and he's like, I want more money. What you're asking is a big deal. She keeps saying that the house is a dead cell because it's been closed off.
Yeah,
so it hasn't
no one's been there.
So nothing bad has happened, so it's okay to go in there. But nothing
Makes
bad has
sense.
happened because it hasn't had anything to feed off of. It's like saying that, oh, we can let this guy out of jail because he didn't rape any women while he was in jail.
That's, wow.
Good behavior.
Yep.
But
There you go.
It's, I mean, we find out that is her entire motivation, I guess. Or do we think that changed once she got to the house?
It's hard to tell because of how the show is. Because what would be interesting is if but she'd have to be such a shitty scientist when she is. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, because halfway through, I think it was you turned to us and said, like, is she possessed now? Like, we were trying to figure it out. Is she being possessed by the house? Because the house's whole thing is it drives women insane and it kills men. Well, it makes women disappear.
Yeah.
And I know why.
You do?
Oh, shoe drop. In preparation of watching this, I went ahead and watched the prequel made-for-TV movie, The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer, that tells the story of the building of Rose Red in ways that completely do not match up with the canon of what we watch.
Amazing.
I don't know how this movie got made because the production teams did not speak to each other.
Wow.
There are similar events that are either shown or alluded to. There is a ghost character named Sukina who is a main character in both, and it tells the story of Sukina being arrested because Ellen's daughter disappears. They tell that story, but not in the same way.
Interesting.
Also, the two main characters appear in both, but are played by different people in the prequel and in the miniseries.
Are they supposed to be like wildly different ages?
No, they're
Great.
just the same age. John Rimbauer's kind of hot. But the story, in a super summarized version, Ellen marries into this rich family, this John Rimbauer guy, and he buys her a mansion, Rose Red. And he builds her a mansion. And while it is being built, and after they are wed, he takes her off on a round the world trip. And she is presented as this, like, just a fair maiden. I found the timeline. I thought it was during Regency times, but it turns out it's just supposed to be like the 40s, according to Rose Red. It's weird.
Okay.
But he takes her on a round the world trip, and she's portrayed as this innocent. But then they go around the world, and she's like, and as we traveled, he got strange and dark, and he wanted sex all the time, and that's evil. And this is portrayed kind of upsettingly. Their descent into immorality is they go to Africa and have a threesome with a black lady.
Is it Sukina?
No, it's just some lady.
Oh, okay.
Then she gets some disease that they reference, something that is contracted by men but suffered by women. That I guess is just supposed to be the patriarchy or something. It doesn't matter.
We said pregnancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they come back and they have a kid, and they start playing these like psychosexual games where she seduces him when she wants something. And then you find out that he's disappearing their help.
Whoa!
So John Rimbauer, something not mentioned in Rose Red at all, is a serial killer. And she finds out about it because she's psychic.
Yeah.
Sure. But she ends up having a seance and talking to the house. And the house wants her to build forever. And she's like, yeah, sounds good to me.
Too many hats.
It's so much. And actually, I found it pretty entertaining.
Really?
It kind of has the, like, what was the novella we read in Full Dark No Stars? Mr. and Mrs. What about the guy?
Oh, Good Marriage.
A Good Marriage,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Kind of that, where she knows he is a monster, but he is rich and powerful and could lock her up in a sanitarium at any time. And also she wants the money to keep building her ghost house. It's a lot. And almost none of it is mentioned in Rose Red. The ending, though, is alluded to in Rose Red because Ellen and her maid/lesbian companion, Sakina, decide, okay, there's only one way to stop this guy. We have to feed him to the house. And they lure him up into the tower, which is super important in the prequel and barely mentioned in Rose Red.
Mentioned enough, though, that I'm like, are they going to do something with that?
They do in a different movie completely unrelated to the one that we watched. And they lead him up there. Sakina's like, hey, your wife won't fuck you, but I will. And they do. And then a ghost shouts at him and he falls out a window. And it ends with Sakina and Ellen being like, cool, let's keep building this ghost house. And then it just ends. And that's the whole thing.
Wild.
But, the reason, so the minor differences. And the most important, I guess it's not until episode 2. Should we wait for the cowboy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's wait for the cowboy.
Man, because that scene is dark as shit.
Okay, I have more to say about it, but we'll come back to it.
All right. Before we actually get back into the plot, I've got another piece of trivia I want to jump into, and it is who named our episodes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to ask, episode 1 was titled Psychology.
Me.
That's definitely CM.
CM, that is absolutely right. Episode 2, Sissy's my father's name.
That's
Eve.
me.
That's
Who
Eve.
else would say such a dumb sentence?
And episode 3 was titled Ghosts Are People Too.
Josh, is that you?
I feel like I would say something like that.
It was CM.
Okay.
CM
I should have
3.
known. I feel like every time we play this game, CM, you name the majority of the episodes. I just feel like that's true.
Because I'm nonsense.
All right, back into, we talked about the introduction of Emery into the show, because this beginning chunk we'd covered before is all about assembling the team.
But we only really meet Emery
Right.
as thoroughly as we meet a person.
Yeah, the rest of them are just
realize-
at the bar to
Yeah.
show off their superpowers.
Yeah.
I think that's why we get him solo here and all them at the bar. Had the time, but also we still
we
get...
should have known that all of them were going to die except for him.
I will say that the intro to Steve's character does really make him seem like he is a college student that Joyce is fucking.
It really does.
See, you had to, I wasn't sure if you were kidding or not when you asked.
No, he's younger than her, which is okay if, under the right circumstances, obviously, and not okay under others. And he gives off college fuckboy vibes.
Right, yeah.
At first.
And
But
he
he's-
pretends to be, he drops in like, asking about extra credit.
Yeah.
He doesn't do himself any favors.
Yeah, he's playing the role, but it's just like a sex game between them, I guess. But the two of them, there are characters in this who have some nice chemistry between each other, which I'm so grateful for, but not these two.
No.
And it's just because Joyce is such this, like, that woman is sharp and pointy
I don't
of
get...
personality.
I never see what his infatuation with her is. Like, there's never a moment between them where you see him go all puppy dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I
That's
guess maybe
true.
I
We didn't
wanted
see-
that.
yeah,
I
I
want
did
something that's like,
too.
why are you here?
Because once she starts openly going crazy, there's never really where you're like, oh, I really feel like they have a relationship
he
at
never
all.
shows
Yeah.
any concern, or like if the person you were dating, even casually, was starting to go nuts, you would have a different reaction to that than everyone else in the room.
I feel like this is a good opportunity, since we're talking this through now, to introduce all of our characters by way of something I asked and then said we should save it for the podcast. Who do we ship?
This is going to be complicated because mine are going to like cross each other and be all mixed up.
I mean, go for it. And we'll just introduce the characters as we go along.
Yeah, because when we talked about the bar scene, CM, when they're going around the table talking about their powers, we were riffing on the powers of their names because Touch No is hilarious.
It's so
And
dumb.
So I
Yeah.
asked CM to introduce us to the cast when the time came. I'd love to see how you would introduce us to the team. And then who you ship.
Okay,
Yeah.
so first we meet Touch No, who is her own, and I didn't make that up.
Yep.
No. Bones herself.
Yep, Lady Bones. I don't. What's her? Not Zoe. Deschanel.
Emily Deschanel.
Emily
Yes.
Deschanel.
Pam.
She does great. She's describing her power that I don't even remember because.
Dead zones.
Yeah, she has a dead zone.
Thank
She
you.
touches it and can tell it's past and says lines of dialogue that were said around it.
Super. So she calls this power Touch No, which sounds like something you teach your kids to say to adults.
Yeah.
Yes.
You really got to pronounce the
And-
KN.
It's just so weird. But then we pan over to and I ship her with college fuckboy
Steve.
She's shipping herself with
Yeah,
Steve,
she
which we
does.
find out in a moment. But we pan
It'd be
to
cute.
the horniest guy on the cast. He's a touch yes.
His power to just know when people are getting sexy
He-
around him.
Hands.
So
yeah.
he's describing, he explains his power by just no segue at all into this. He's just like very eloquently and almost poetically describing a couple that they see walk by like 2 seconds later, and the guy's got Roman fingers, he calls it. But he makes it like a really fun, dramatic way of showing his power. But I misinterpreted it as, oh, he only sees sexy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, he could sense that lady's ass was about to get grabbed when she was into it.
Which he uses throughout the rest of I swear, all of his ghosts.
His horny powers.
He does. Also, the scene where he's just walking around alone, kind of grunting at things. What was that about?
I ship him with dead movie star.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like them together.
Yeah, I feel like she could hold a conversation, really work a room, and he talks a lot.
Yeah. Then we have Kathy, who is a very Christian, polite, kind woman, and she has the psychic writing power.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we know that Touch No likes Steve, because she writes her emotion or what's on her mind.
Do we have a quippy name for her power?
Right go.
It's really good.
Yes! Awesome! Who do we ship her with?
Honestly,
I-
Nick.
Nick.
The
yeah.
scene with
They
the-
No,
fought.
I hated
No?
that. I
Yeah,
ship her.
He
actually-
did sing to her a little.
The singing
And a-
and the random kissing her hand, I guess.
I didn't believe it. No offense to either of them. And I love Julian Sands. He had chemistry with everyone else. In my opinion, I was shipping him with Steve the hardest, honestly. When they,
I'm
when they
here
shared,
for it.
when they were sharing tea, I was like, oh, okay. Doesn't
I'm-
hold a candle to him and Bones, or him and even a little bit Sis.
Yeah.
But more Sis. Anyway, we haven't gotten to them yet. Oh, Nick, I couldn't think of a fun thing because he's like, I look into my beer and I just have a lot of different things I can do.
Yeah.
I just called him beer goggles.
That's pretty good.
He's a mind reader. He eventually
Yeah,
refers
we
to himself
understand
as
it
a mind
later
reader.
A brain bow.
There it is.
Ooh,
Somewhere.
It's a brain
Over the
himbo.
rainbow.
And then, Emery isn't there, but we already know he's a hell no.
He sees a ghost and he goes, hell no.
He sees ghosts. He has like not precognition, but
He is a post-cog.
post-cog. Yeah.
Eve, I believe you summarized this best last as...
It's, he can see the past, an ability that we all have.
Yes.
Possibly
I-
my favorite thing I've ever said on this podcast.
Great punchline.
I wasn't shipping him with anyone because his mom is shipping him with herself.
Yeah, it's
But-
rough.
But Emery was given the vibe of someone who every female ghost he encountered as like, just when's he gonna hit on her?
Maybe.
Didn't do it.
I disagree.
No, he didn't act that way at all. He just had that vibe where...
I mean, yes, he is a creep and a misogynist, and in the outside world, I would not want him to see him interacting with women, but the ones that are rotting...
terrified, yeah. I have to give Emery shit because he needs to be given a little bit.
Yes, that is fair.
Before we get to the house, there are two important things that I felt differently about this time because of things we've read.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Annie's parents, because that relationship jumped out to us. And I realized it reminds me now of Abra's parents.
Oh.
People who comprehend something is happening that we are not skilled to handle, but we love our daughter and we're gonna keep her safe.
I like that better. That I was thinking of the Twilight Zone episode, but that was way more extreme. But just the way that the mom, especially terrified all the time, tiptoeing around her daughter. And I had a different read of Annie this time.
I also think we can't give these parents too much credit, at least the dad, because as Sissy says, she gets the feeling that her dad hates Annie. And that comes through a little bit.
Oh, yes, that absolutely does.
Where he's constantly annoyed at things that are just like innocuous.
I think
her radio turns off and he's like, well, thank God
for a small favor.
Oh, you have to listen to the same song 100 times a day. Get over it, fucking nerd. It makes your daughter happy.
Right.
I think all their lives suck real bad.
A little bit. And then the other thing is there is a big deal made that we never discussed because it didn't really ring true to any of our lives. And now, CM, it touches yours a little bit. Joyce gets her tenure revoked. And I want you to share with us what you mentioned about getting tenure and what it would mean to lose tenure.
Okay, so I do not have tenure because I've just started this part of my life. But so I might not have the clearest idea, but from what I understand, tenure takes, so you have to have your PhD, and your PhD can take, around 8 years or more than that. Just depends on and that's not the courses you're taking. You wrap up with the courses probably after like 2.5 years, depending on the program, and then you do your dissertation research. You have to defend that. You get a couple of weeks to make changes, and then you have to present that. And it's just this long process because you're doing research, you're analyzing it, so it takes time to do these kinds of studies. And so then imagine being in school and doing this for like 8 years, and then you're working as a instructor, and it takes about 6 years to get tenure.
God.
If you're lucky enough to get it, and there's a position open. And tenure does make you way harder to get rid of, apparently. And you get paid.
Yeah, you can just smear blood on whoever's face.
But you also have to, there are, requirements for having a position like that. You have to be published, and so you have to continue to contribute to the field of study that you got your PhD in.
Okay.
So for her to get that revoked, she dedicated probably decades of her life to get where she is.
Now, as someone that studies child psychology, if someone in your field was publishing papers on ghost activity, do you think that would affect their career?
I think so, but I think what would affect her career even more than that would be the unethical way she does it. Like,
it's insane.
In human test subjects, she is just she deserves to have her tenure revoked.
And Steve criticizes her and questions her, and she's like, I'm a scientist, Steve. Don't forget I am a scientist and can't do unethical things. It's impossible.
And am never wrong. And she hates it. Like, the first lecture she gives is like, oh, she's giving a good lecture because she's really passionate about what she's telling them, and she's doing it in like this professional but kind of like, really seems to connect with her students. Like, I got that vibe from her. But then every time somebody asks a legitimate question about this that you would want people to ask if they were going to participate in this kind of adventure, She's just like, oh, we don't have time for you to ask stupid questions, but we do have time for me to proceed with this PowerPoint that I prepared where I'm going to tell you all the stuff I want to tell you. It's like, okay.
Here's my PowerPoint presentation about a bunch of old-timey murders at a house I like. And they're like, what about Maslow's hierarchy? We're learning about that today.
Is there anything else pre-house that jumped out to you extra this time, felt different?
Just continuing to entirely be on the side of her boss.
Yeah.
Being completely reasonable.
I kept in mind this time how batshit insane she gets, and I repeated several times while we watched this. They showed us she was the villain from like the first time we met her.
So many red flags.
How much a character has to suck for me to side with the establishment character?
That's a fair point.
The character being like, you should be following the rules. And I'm like, yeah, he's right. You have to be terrible.
Well, people keep referencing her prior work and books she's published and saying things like, reasonable things that science says are true and going, you used to know that. You wrote about that in this paper that I read when you were a good scientist. So it is kind of sad, actually, to see that happen, but it's too bad we don't get a little more of her being kind of more normal to care about that.
And to contrast with how absolutely stark raving bonkers
it's why
she
it's
gets.
confusing if she gets possessed or not.
I think I figured something out that we would color her character arc so much more. And there is a hidden plot here. This is essentially an addiction to being on the cutting edge, because the way she reacts kept giving me King Addict vibes, because her obsessiveness, we talk about this so often, this time it's different because I know when this is too far, so I know how far I can take it. And she has that energy every time things get bad, where it's like, yeah, but we're so close. This is just where we need to be. And the allusions to her past accomplishments, all these things. And Nick calls her psychic starfucker. Not exactly, not verbatim, but if we had a background story with her that this is all an addiction to feeling relevant, that she would burn all her past work just to be at the top again, that kind of character. And I feel like that would have shaped so much had I not just pulled that out of just
nothing.
Yeah.
There are little details,
I do like that.
but
you have to work a little bit at this show.
You got to want it.
Yeah.
And this time I wanted it. I wanted it more than last time. I think that's what it comes down to. So then let's go to episode 2, which is primarily house shenanigans. This is, I want to get straight to the cowboy, because this is a story we hear about that when it happened this time, you recalled it and mentioned that it was different.
Okay. So I remember this scene from the first time we watched Rose Red, because it's a bonkers scene.
One of the many stop and monologues that happen in this.
Yeah, it's weird because it is just a flashback to a guy who is like, he's not really explained. He's just like associate.
He was a business partner.
That it is alluded so that he killed himself in the house when we see this flashback. And I'm going to first say that we see this exact scene, but with more context in the prequel.
Interesting.
First of all, this character, Doug, is a business associate of John Rimbauer. He is the husband of some relative of John's.
Oh, okay.
Who is Ellen's best friend.
Okay.
And John, when Ellen she makes this discovery and tells him that she's basically, our daughter is going to be our last child. I'm never fucking you again. Basically, he retaliates by going to his business partner, Doug, who is played by the guy who plays Victor Pascow in
cool.
Pet Sematary. Played really well. And John, there's this scene of John coming to this guy and basically saying, this maid disappears. And Ellen knows why, But to cover it up, John basically sets this dude up and comes to him and says, listen, first of all, I knew you were doing gay stuff down at the docks. Just thrown away. And like, I ignored that. But now Dalliance is in my home with my staff, and now she's gone. Who knows? I can't have you spreading drama, and there can't be rumors about my empire. So you're fired and never be near my children again. And this guy goes, how the fuck dare you? I don't know what you're talking about, and how dare you imply that I would ever do any. I love those children and all this. So it is implied that he is basically, he's a gay man that he is being scapegoated for this rich, powerful man's sex murders.
Yeah.
So already, fuck, that's dark.
Way dark.
That's real dark.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a scene of Ellen and this guy's wife talking about it. And they are 1,000% behind this guy. They're like, what? He must be so embarrassed. What a terrible time for him. And his wife's like, yeah, we have to leave because this is a stain on our family. But is not like, oh, I can't believe.
They're going to start over.
We're leaving together.
Wow.
And like, I'm worried about him. And they're like talking about going and talking to him and helping him through this, because they're like, oh, poor Doug. And it is sincerely touching.
Yeah.
And it cuts to him in his office looking up, obviously being spoken to by the house, as they are like, we need to go to him. And he is climbing up on a desk and hanging a noose when the kids walk in. And he stops and he gets down off the desk and says, let's play hide and seek. Go hide. And I'll find you.
God.
And then he gets up on the desk and hangs himself.
Jeez.
And the kid walks back in. And that's the scene.
Wow.
It's dark. It is sad. It is really affecting.
Yeah. Jesus.
So in Rose Red, the way it is interpreted is completely wordless. A man in a 90s line dancing cowboy costume. Standing on a table, smiling down at two children, wordlessly staring up at him. He gives them both roses.
Gives the boy his hat, his cowboy hat.
And puts the cowboy hat, and then hangs himself in front of these children as they just stare at him.
Which is dark, but has none of the nuance and depth of...
Which is dark, but it's because of the lack of context and the just surrealness of it, it comes off as silly, and it does not go into, the depth, the nuance of like, oh, this is a tragic ghost-based tragedy, you know?
It does ring true, though, of a story someone pieced together based on the diary of someone else, where that prequels the actual events, the fact that that kid comes back in, so the story could have been interpreted over time this way. And so now this incredibly heartbreaking, tragic story is lost to time.
I mean, that's a really cool idea for a movie that's all about that.
Right, yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
When it makes an active choice to do that,
Like, if we saw this scene multiple times, and
we got more and more of it each time.
What stood out? Anything that felt different? One of the things that really stood out to me is this is the episode where we get our King cameo and he delivers pizzas. And then it cuts to where they're just kind of dancing, but Annie and Steve are floating. And the reason it stuck out so much this time is when she falls and lands on her face earlier. He was like, "You can fly."
She never floats again.
Nope. So weird.
I really loved it because this is where, like you said, we get all a bunch of the deaths. The old horny guy, the touch it gets lured away by dead bones, but he doesn't know, touch no.
Dead bones.
And we get this really awesome scene, and it's in the daylight too, so it's cool that it's still effective in the daylight, where he's walking through the courtyard and he passes this fountain with a statue of a woman, and we've been seeing this and the statue comes to life, and the effects
So
are
good.
good, and just rips its face off its statue head and puts its face out so it can watch him walk away.
I
That was my
like that.
favorite scene of actually the whole thing.
Until it opens its eyes.
Okay,
I
so
wish
it
it had been
opens
stone
its
eyes.
and it's like fake eyes, and it should have just been stone eyes because that it opened them. That was a thing. You did it. It worked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's again.
Yeah,
it's
they're
one
weird
of those
puppet eyes.
It's not intended to be goofy, I'm pretty sure, but it's goofy a little bit.
I agree with that scene. It's really cool. Things ripping their own face off. That's
Yes.
scary.
That's
That's
Very.
why the opening to Nightmare Before Christmas always scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
The
sense.
clown
Get
that rips
that.
its own face off, that's scary. Why the hell does it do that?
That's a fair point. Okay, I honestly I didn't really have a episode 2 is where there's a lot of milling about.
We ordered Pizza Hut.
We ordered Pizza Hut.
Not
Yeah.
sponsored.
Not yet. Add us. So let's jump to Act 3, the things in our finale, wrapping up this trilogy. I think honestly, the most impactful stuff this time for me was Emery's mom.
Yeah.
Like the crazy. I made fun of the grunt talking that she does after she's captured, but this time watching it, I just went into it as after that first instance, she has full on lost her mind, and so she is incapable
Yeah.
of making
Mhm.
anything intelligible happen,
It's
and that
better
made
that
me enjoy
way.
it a little bit
Me-
more. It
me
didn't feel
too.
as silly.
Yeah, because I still say the decision to hogtie her and leave her alone
In a house where they've been experiencing
Very funny.
craziness. They know it isn't safe.
in a room where they literally went like, hey, the inside this door is supernaturally
Yeah.
cold. Let's close it and not think about
Oh,
it.
but then
That
don't
moment's
they
great.
put her in there later?
No,
Or
they
does she
leave
get
her
dragged
like
in there?
right
Yeah, that's
outside
right.
and they drag
They
her
were so
in.
shitty to her, which I mean, hard not to be.
Yeah.
I hallucinated. They drug her. Oh, it's beer goggles. Julian Sands, who's a great
Mhm.
actor, tragically died on a mountain climb, and by
That's
all
sad.
accounts, seemed like a really rad dude. He was the warlock. He's just a cool guy. Anyway, he has chemistry with everybody except Kathy, but
Mhm.
Right Go, Christian Kathy comes in, and yeah, Emery's mom attacks him, and they're like, well, we can't tell Emery she's alive because that would make him freak out, even though he's been searching for
Yeah.
her.
It'd
For
be
hours.
wildly inconvenient
Yeah.
if you found out.
So the only option is to hogtie her. Like, yeah, that's
And leave
better.
her alone.
That's better than telling Emery, hey, your mom, who you're freaking out about being here and not being okay, is okay.
Yeah, it's a weird line because we've seen Emery become, at least in his language, more violent. I get not wanting him to snap, but yeah, leaving his mom tied up alone someplace and then not mentioning it's a little rough. Of the action spots that we get in this third act, any favorites this time around?
The library scene where Kathy sees we didn't even mention the journalist student.
Oh, Bollinger, yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah,
died
Jimmy
there. Yeah,
Simpson.
he was.
Yes. I also, for the second time, forgot that he was not dead immediately. He doesn't, because I don't, oh God.
He's in full on zombie makeup.
He is.
Yeah,
He shows up, he gets attacked by bees, and then he gets drug up into the ceiling. And the next time we see him, he is full on zombied
Yeah,
out.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to mention, because a bunch of listeners have wrote in about this. Thank you guys. The bees are, could be a nod to The Shining. We've had a lot of like wasp imagery in King work, and this is another example.
Yeah, there's an off comment about somebody with a bee allergy dying out here.
Yeah, so I don't know that
Yeah,
I
you're
think he
right.
was dead, and that's just he brings Emery's mom into the house, and then I guess the house is just done with him, so they hang him
I
up,
guess.
leading to the scene that you were saying.
In the
CM
library.
in the
Yeah.
library.
Kathy sees him hanging from the chandelier, and she's like, okay, I need to get out of here. But the glass floor, which is amazing looking, I kept calling it the ballroom.
Hmm. It's better. It's a library.
Yeah.
Not a
It-
good room for balls because
No.
there'd be a lot of gowns.
yes, good point. But the floor basically turns to liquid, which Josh, you reminded us last time we watched this. we found out that was a practical effect, and
which
it's
is
really good.
Always cool.
But I did want, not because Kathy's Kathy, but I did want Kathy's leg to get stuck. Like I wanted the liquid to harden.
Yeah.
And for her to like shatter her leg, trying to lift it out of the...
I thought the same thing was going to happen to Emery at the end.
Yeah.
When he's being
The
dragged into the mirror.
Yep.
I was like, oh, is he going to lose his other arm after his fingers get chopped off by a door? Action scenes, it's hard to choose. My big takeaway this watch is how much I actually really like the design of the inside shots of the mansion.
Yeah.
I think it's really atmospheric. Some of like the cool tiny shrinking hallway with the doors is all very pleasantly shot. It's a cool design. The mirror library I want in my house.
For sure.
And the scene where Kathy and Brainbow are wandering through the walls. They are trying to find the group, and they find this huge hole in the middle of this wall that leads back into this huge set of just unfinished boards, and it looks really cool. I like that part.
I think we also get our most tense scene in this episode because there's, I forget, is it in the kitchen where for once there is not like just whatever basic music playing?
Oh, yeah.
And you just get some silence and just some buildup of tension.
Is that the scene between Steve and Professor Crazy Pants where he comes to her and is like, we need to get together as a group because she is kind of sequestered.
And everybody lets her take Annie off on her own.
All the time.
They just don't give a shit. It's weird.
And they have my most tense moment in the entire thing.
Yes.
Where she is just being straight up abusive to Annie, grabbing her by the head and yelling, look at me, look at me. And that's the part where I'm like, oh, this woman is not just like crazy. She's not just being taken over by the house. This
She's a
woman
child
is
psychologist.
evil. This is a child
She's
psychologist,
dangerous.
and she is doing these things, and later is like actively telling people that Annie can't understand them and is
trying to isolate her.
It sucks. But yeah, that scene is really good when she is starting to kind of fall apart.
Yeah. She ends the scene by trying to stab Kathy with a screwdriver.
Yeah, that's messed up. I have one more goof planned for us.
A goof.
Because I didn't want to slow us down with the ask for, as I usually do for our Mad Libs. I prepped so that way during the commercial breaks, you could fill some out. And then I spliced them together. And CM, I would like you to give this presentation. It is because it is a snippet of the Joyce Reardon presentation from episode 1, where Eve and I are going to learn a lot about the threat that we're going to be facing if we go along with you this Memorial Day weekend.
Ooh, I love that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to be giving this as though it's a lecture.
Yes, you are CM Reardon on the stage. Eve and I are psychics in the audience.
Class. Oh, wait, no, that's for younger kids. Despite what some people may think, rapid healing, Omega-level mutant abilities like Iceman or Gambit, all the rest have no moral gradient. They are neither elated nor funkless. Fleshlights are different. Clive Barker was right. Some fleshlights are born bogus.
No! I read that book.
Fleshlights like Garfield Black. Garfield Black was built by Sporty Spice at the top of Spoon Street in the center of the Rugrats house from Rugrats. As a wedding present to her stepmom. The trouble with Garfield Black started even before there was a Quonset hut. The pool shark made no effort to get away, just dropped the big bag with a $sign on it on the seat of his skateboard and went down the street to a soup store. I think God may have been Garfield Black's first victim. This is where the police found him. The Teamster's name was God. When he was tried, he claimed he remembered nothing from breakfast that witching hour until the time he woke up in a jail cell with a knot behind his big old balls.
Oh, no! Oh, my God!
The judge didn't believe him, and neither did the jury. He got 25 hours. By the day they said there, I object, Garfield Black had already seen 3 deaths in addition to the murder of Rimbauer's first reporter. One man was decapitated by a sheet of falling cotton. Another fucked from a scaffold and broke his skull. And the third choked to death on a piece of ball gag.
Yeah, that'll happen.
There it is. Eve, are you still in?
Not the knot behind the big old balls. That's we have to put a fucking content warning on this episode for that combination of words alone.
If you feel a knot behind your big old balls,
you
go
can't
see a doctor.
say these things, Josh. You're not terminally online enough.
Oh no!
You can't say these things. Tumblr's gonna react to it.
Oh god!
Oh, this is a special episode for someone out there.
I don't know how I feel about having said that.
Oh, Christ almighty.
I love Mad Libs. So should we re-rate?
Wait, okay, so I just
Fun game is to go through that and guess what words CM and I chose.
I feel like, is this what the world would be like if the 3 of us were one person?
Oh, what a world that would be.
I don't think anyone could ever guess which one of us said the Rugrats house, the house from Rugrats.
That really got me.
Are we done here?
Wow, yeah.
Should we rate? rate
Yeah.
this?
I'm gonna go first. It's so much more fun this time around. Definitely, the way to enjoy this is all at once.
Yeah.
And I will say, the benefit of revisiting something like this is every quality issue we have that we always talk about, the made-for-TV movie-itis of a movie. There are certain pitfalls. Going in this time, knowing what I'd already given shit to, I was prepared to give grace to, and it made it a much more enjoyable experience. I'm going to go ahead and say 4 out of 5 blue chambray shirts. Definitely a watch.
Nice. I also had a lot more fun watching it this time. I was really upset when Ian Klink, who I did not mention at the top, picked this for us to revisit. But watching it all at once kind of helped, although it did make me realize this could be cut into just a normal length movie, could be made a little more scary, more rated R than PG. And I would really enjoy it. I think it would be really good. Once I realized something that I don't think I really embraced the first watch, that this was, creep show, kind of more campy style, it was easier to enjoy. It wasn't hard to watch again, which surprised me. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 blue chambray shirts.
Y'all, I thought about it, and I have watched Rose Red beginning to end at least 7 times in my life. And if it is not perfect, then that means I have been wasting my precious hours. And so I have to give it 5 out of 5 blue chambray shirts for my own sanity.
And that is it for this episode of Derry Public Radio. As always, thank you for listening. Join us for our next episode, where we will be covering Here There Be Tigers from the collection Skeleton Crew. For Joshua Kahn and Eve Gatto, I'm CM Alexander, reminding you, some fleshlights are born bogus. Hey everyone, thank you for listening to Rose Red Revisited. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you check out our original episodes covering this show in depth, starting with episode number 43. Let us know what you think of Rose Red on our social media. Search Derry Public Radio on your preferred platform. You can also send us an email at derrypublicradio@gmail.com. You can chat with us and other King fans on our Discord. The link for that is in the show notes. We would also love it if you would check out our merch store on Etsy. That's etsy.com/derrypublicradio. And our Patreon for bonus episodes, live streams, and lots of other perks. That's patreon.com/derrypublicradio. And if you're not ready to do that, we would love it if you told your friends about us. Spreading the word helps us out a ton, and we appreciate it so much. That's all for now, listeners. Goodbye.